Conference will now be recorded.
All right, guys, let's take a look, or welcome to the weekly watch list of November 17th through the 20th, or actually November 18th through the 22nd, I believe. Is that what it is? Yeah, Friday the 22nd. All right, so let's take a look at ES. After hours, it is up, and let's go into our weekly, or actually our monthly. So we're still in this bullish channel. We have this rising wedge on the monthly, weekly that is setting up to the top of this bullish channel. We still have some more room to go to 3,200. That's where I think that it's going to top out and then pull back. So 3,200 is still our main target. So we still have room. We still have room up here. Okay. All right, let's go to our daily. And we could see after hours, we are hitting the upper end of that daily channel. And let's go into the 4 hour and I'll show you this rising wedge on the 4 hour chart. So last week in our weekly watch list, we said buy the dip until we get to 31.25, 31.30 area. So we didn't get there last week. Friday, we got to, at the close of the day on Friday, we got to 31.20. Now, we're gapping up into that range that we were cautioning you about, that 31.25, 31.30 area. Okay, so now we hit 31.25 and almost 31.30. Okay, not quite yet, but we are in this rising wedge of the 4 hour chart. So we are anticipating a pullback. We could still go tomorrow or I guess today, it's Monday. We could go into the day and still push and hit that 31.30 and then pull back. We're going to pull back to 31.10, 31.08 area. So this support here, we're going to pull back here, consolidate, and then we're going to push up from here. We're going to push up to 31.40, 31.52. And we should end the week higher. But we will pull back to 31.10, 31.08 area. So watch this rising wedge. It's going to pull back tomorrow, most likely. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the beginning of the day, the middle, or the end of the day, but we should get a pullback tomorrow sometime. This rising wedge is running out of room. We could maybe even pull back in the morning. It depends on where these candles are in the morning. So this is a 4 hour chart. So we could definitely continue up and hit that 31.30. So pullback either latest tomorrow, late in the day, or early Tuesday. But we're gonna get a pullback, and it's gonna be a buyable pullback, but we're still gonna get a pullback. So we're still gonna buy the dip as when we pull back to either 310 or 31.08. We're gonna buy the pullback and anticipate a push to 31.40 and 31.52 as this opens up more in this channel. And then from 31.52, that area there, that's where I'd be cautious there. So we told you last week to be cautious at 31.25, 31.30, and now this week we're going to get pulled back to 31.08, 31.10, and then be cautious. Well, after we pull back here, watch for it to hold and make a higher low, and then from there we should consolidate maybe a day or two, or maybe has some volatility, but then eventually we're going to 3140 and 3152, and then that maybe another pullback, and then you know uptrend to 3160 and 3200. We should be good. We shouldn't have a massive sell-off until after Thanksgiving. So either the week of Thanksgiving, depends on how fast we move up this week, but we shouldn't get a sell-off until after Thanksgiving or the week of. I'm anticipating after Thanksgiving that we could have a 100 point drop in the S&P. So if we get to 3200, we could drop back down to 3100. Okay, maybe even more, maybe maximum 30 support. I think that would be maximum drop 30 before we head higher, and that would be a very, very viable dip right there. So anticipating resistance here, especially at 3130. We did get to 3127.75. So we almost got to 3130. We definitely hit that 3125. So anticipate the pullback to 3110, 3108. If you're not in the market yet, then I would wait for the market to pull back here and then enter in so that you can get the best deal. And then from there, we'll probably consolidate maybe a few hours or a whole day at this area, and then push up to that 3140 as we make room in this channel. So topping tail, pull back to here, maybe a day, and then the next day push up to 3140, maybe pull back and test that 3130, and then push up again to 3152. And that's how it looks like it's gonna be. And I will show you, looks like it's gonna be here, and then from here we go here, and then from here we may go back to here, and then from here we go up to here. So that's what we're anticipating the market to do, make its way. It's gonna top out right here at 3130 area, and then come back to 3110, 3108. That's gonna be a buyable dip, and then we're gonna head to 3140, and then we could possibly dip to 3130, and then we're gonna head to 3150. I'm anticipating the move. Of course, it's not going to be smooth like that. It's going to be very volatile, but that's essentially what it's going to do and where we're going to go. So anticipate that this coming week. We have retail sales every day, pretty much this week. So those are going to be big factors into the market. Of course, we're going to have some pullbacks, so some of them are going to miss, some of them are going to do great, or maybe they all do great, but the market has some other news that is going to make it pull back, because we need some pullbacks in this bullish channel. We're hitting at the top after hours already. So tomorrow, I would sell any short positions that you have on, like short dated ones, and then get them back in around that 3110, 3108 level, on S&P 500. Okay. So let's go into, so we already got the game plan for the S&P 500s. So S&P 500s, for those of you that don't know, is also SPY, SPX. Okay, so SPY, SPX, and \ES, they're pretty much all the same price action. They're S&P 500s. The SPY is just an ETF. All right. So let's look at NQ. So NQ is in this bullish channel still. It is holding that lower end of the channel. Can still push up to that weekly target of 83, 88, 75. If it loses this, it's going to come back here to 82.50. It needs to hold that 82.50, or else it could come down to 81.62. Now on Friday, Nasdaqs were weak versus the S&P 500s, which was very interesting because the Nasdaq is usually very strong against the S&P 500s. So that was very interesting to see that Friday the S&P 500s were stronger than the Nasdaqs. So we're going to see if the Nasdaqs are going to pop up and be stronger than S&Ps this week, or if they're going to continue to be weak and they actually break down. And then that's going to be a sign that the market's getting tired. Okay, because when our leading indicator, which is the Nasdaq, which has been the strongest of all the futures, when that one's getting tired and it's not performing as well as it used to, that's a signal that the market's getting tired, pullback is going to come. So happened Friday. It could have just been, warning signs. This could still continue higher because we still need to be at the top of the resistance here at about 8,600. So that's still about 300 points. And it's matching up with the top of this channel. So we could definitely push higher. And I think we do. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. But as of right now, still holding that bullish channel. So we're not worried just yet. If we break it, and especially if we break 82.50 or 82.49, then we would be worried about technology. But I think there's a couple good setups on technology, and I'll show you a couple, especially Facebook and Apple, that could propel the Nasdaqs a little more higher. Okay. So let's look at the Dow. So the Dow, same thing, inside this bullish channel still, and it's pretty good. It's hitting that first target. Actually hit that first target Friday, and right now it's over that target, and we could be pushing to 28,290. So that's our next target on the Dow. So it's looking good, looking a lot better than the Nasdaq, but the Nasdaq is higher than the Dow. So maybe the Dow's playing catch up and it's going to push up a little better. Okay, let's go into TNX. So TNX, I've been telling you guys about, and it's still bullish. It's not above 19 right now, but it's in this bullish channel, and it looks like it wants to get above 19 very soon. Once we get above 19, I said that's very bullish for the market. The market's going to push up. So we might get that pullback, and then TNX might get above that 19. And once it gets above that 19, then we're going to make our way to that 3140 and then that 3150. Okay, looking at the RSI, RSI is still holding very nicely. As we could see here, it bounced off that 50. So that's very strong. Momentum is curling down, but we'll see. As long as it holds this channel, we should be good. All right. Let's go into Costco. So Costco, long bullish channel. Beautiful. and has a daily cup and handle here. Very nice cup and handle formation. Held the lower end of the channel here and has a squeeze firing up. Looks good. Looks good. A push above 307, head to 310 and 314. Very, very nice chart on Costco. Like it very much. All right. Let's go to CAT. So CAT is holding this daily support at 143.50. But if it loses that support, it's going to come back here to 140 and back test. And if that holds, then it's very, very strong buy that it's a long-term buy that it's going to go past the 150s and towards the 170s. So if it holds right here at 143.50, then that's a good sign that it's going to push over to the 150s. But it is looking a little weak just because it gapped down. It barely held there. It did gap up, but I would like it either above 148. If not, then it could definitely backtest this breakout and then push up. I still like it here above 143.50. I would take the risk long. You only have a downside of one of the $3, and if you're buying long calls, especially at least a month or two out, then you should be fine. But if you do get a pullback to this 140, then that's definitely buy, definitely buy. Because CAT looks great still. The only concern I did have with it is that it did break this uptrend here, but it is forming a bull flag still. So I'm not too worried unless it breaks at 143.50. Then I wouldn't be worried. As long as that 140 holds, I'll be buying that up because that should be very strong support. All right. All right, CAT. Now let's go to Facebook. So Facebook, really like this stock on this chart. They have this bullish channel, and we are at the lower end of that bullish channel. We have not one, but two bull flags. We have a squeeze firing up. We have RSI up. We have momentum curling up. We have everything looking bullish. Once this breaks above 196.50, it's going to 200 and possibly could even make it to 204.90 if we get very good Facebook news or a very strong market. We could definitely push up. That 196.50 has been a barrier. Once we get above that, and we could stay above that, especially get to 200, this thing's gone. This thing's gone. It's gonna run. It's gonna run. It's gonna run good. So like Facebook a lot. All right, let's go to Apple. So Apple, looking at our monthly chart, we could see that Apple's in this massive bullish channel, and it still has the upper end of the channel here at about 290, even at 300. It could go all the way to 300. Our high target is 322.50. Our more reasonable target is 289.87. Let's go to the weekly chart. So we're in this bullish channel. Looks like we could get to 267, then 270, and then 272.60. That could happen this week for sure. Let's go to the daily. We're at the lower end of the bullish channel, so this one's going to push up. It's going to push up towards that. We could definitely maybe even go higher, maybe even to the 280s this week if we keep pushing and ES does get to that 31.50 this week, we could definitely get to 280 and make a 15-point move on Apple. But as of right now, our levels that we're watching are 270, 270, 260, and possibly 275. But Apple looks good, and it looks like it wants to go higher. Unless it breaks this channel that it's in, it's uptrending, and it's going to keep going up. All right, so let's go to NVIDIA. So NVIDIA has this bullish channel on the daily. It's in this box consolidation where it's kind of just stuck in this zone right here between this 204 and 211. So it's going to consolidate in there until it probably makes more room to the right side. And then once it makes enough room to the right side, it's going to break out to 215 and 220. So as of right now, it's just going to consolidate in this range from 204 to 211. Until it's above that 211.86, then we're not going to go to 215 yet. We got to consolidate, make some more room, maybe 2 or 3 days consolidation, and then we have room to push up to 215, 220. All right. Let's see here. See J&J. So J&J looks phenomenal on the monthly chart. We have this ascending triangle pattern, and we are at the lower end of this ascending triangle pattern. So this is going to push up, push to 140, 145, and then maybe catch some resistance up here at 147, and then pull back down again to maybe 140, and then push up and break out in the long term. We have a nice squeeze forming, RSI's holding 50, momentum starting to turn up. So I think we have room to go to that 140, 145 area. Looking at the weekly chart, we have a squeeze forming with momentum switching up, momentum pushing up, RSI is above, buy volume's good. That looks good. It's above its moving averages. We should see a push to 137.85 and then 140 and then higher and higher. Go to the daily and we could see we got above and closed that 200 day. As long as we stay above there, we can go higher. Squeeze firing off, all indicators bullish. Really like J&J, and it's breaking out of this box consolidation here. So it's breaking out of this box consolidation. I think that it continues, and I like that a lot. All right, UNH, as I like this one a lot as well. Let's go to the monthly chart. So I like UNH a lot. It did stop at this resistance point here. This is a major resistance here at 270, well 269.60 is a major resistance point, and it's forming a cup. So from this high down and then back up to this high, we're forming this cup. So we can form a possible cup and handle, possibly. Now we have that cup. We can definitely consolidate in this range before we push up again, but we do have a nice bullish channel here. We have this nice bullish channel on the daily, and we hit that top end of that bullish channel, and then we sold off some. But we could consolidate maybe a day or two and then try to push up again. If we go down to the hourly chart, we can see that we have this nice bull flag here. We do have a big topping tail, but we do have a nice bull flag that as long as we hold 267.75 and we start pushing, if we break 275, if we break 275.60, we're gonna start running to 281, 285, and 289.50. So that's gonna be a nice move if it holds at 267.75. If it does not hold that, then we're going to anticipate that it's going to consolidate in this bullish channel, and it's going to consolidate around 266, 267 area, with the maximum down to 258.58, but I don't think it gets there. I think it just consolidates above 266 and gets ready for the push into the 280s. So very bullish on UNH as well. All right, let's go to BA. So BA, we're in this bullish channel on the daily. We're hitting this downtrend that we hit Friday. So this downtrend from this high of 446 to this resistance here, we're hitting that here, but I think we break out. I mean, this buy volume that's coming in, it's for a reason, and it's gonna break this. It's gonna break this downtrend. If we don't gap over it tomorrow and push, I think we break out of it because we formed this bull flag. We tried to break through it Friday. We got rejected, but we held this bull flag support at 370. As long as we're above 370, I'm still bullish to 374, 377 area. So if we get that breakout tomorrow of that downtrend, we should be heading to 377, 380 area. So, and 377 is the top of that resistance of the bullish channel. So we could definitely get there and then pull back and then back test this downtrend that we broke at 370, or not 370, at 373. Hold it and then continue up to 385. So still very bullish on BA. All right, so UTX. So UTX, looking at our monthly, we see that inverse head and shoulders, and it broke out, hitting new highs. I think this has still a lot of room to go. The squeeze on the monthly hasn't even broken out. I think this one still has a lot more to go. It's going to go to that 156.35. Looking at the weekly chart, it's just been straight green days, huge buy volume. Okay, last week, lower buy volume, maybe setting up a bull flag to push to that 156. It could either push this week, next week. It should push within the next 2 weeks towards that 156. Looking at the daily, only concern, we did break this uptrend and we did back test it on Friday and it rejected, but there's no confirmation yet that it's going to fall. So we still could push over and get above that and hold 150. And if we hold 150, it's going to 156. It's going to 156. Still like UTX, still a great long-term name. I mean, this one's going to 171. So it has a lot more room to go. Another 20 points. That's pretty good. All right. So let's look at, we looked at Apple, looked at the Qs. Okay, let's look at SPY. All right, SPY, let's remove this. SPY, we're still in this bullish channel. We, after hours, we hit our first target at 312.36, and we're consolidating just in this range above breakout. We can still go and hit 312.95 before we pull back, and I think we pull back to 311. area 311. Maximum we pull back to 310.50, and then that would be a buying opportunity. Was it 310, 310.90, 311, and then possibly 310.20. I think that that'd be good support, and then we're anticipating a push higher to 315 after we pull back to about 311, 310 area. We should push this week or going into next week to 315. So buying long calls at 315 after we pull back, that should be a no-brainer. That's where we're going. That's where our target is, 315.36. That is our main target. And I think that we get there either this week or early next week. Because if we pull back either end of day tomorrow or beginning of day tomorrow or whatever it is, and we pull back to 311, 310 by Tuesday, then Wednesday, Thursday, we push up. Friday, we get to 315. So we could definitely hit 315 this week after we pull back to the 311. So we could still hit 313 and then pull back to 311. Let's go to the 4-hour chart here so we could get that rising wedge here. So we got here and we got here. So, yep. So we could definitely come to 313 still and open up 313 and then pull back 311, 310 area. Yeah, here's that support of about 310.70. So support hourly. So that would be about 311, 310 area. Once we hit this zone right here, so we hit 313, we sell off to 311, 310, hold it, and then we're gonna push up towards that 315 area. So that looks like a good setup going into tomorrow, or actually today, Monday. Going into Monday, we go to 313, maybe in the morning, and then get puts, and then we get sell off to 311, 310, and then reverse there or hold, consolidate, and then push up to 315 or in that direction. Not saying that we get there immediately. We're going to get there later in the week, but it looks good for this week. This is a pretty nice setup, guys. Like this is like really nicely set up. So, I mean, this is pretty much as easy as it gets. We're in a nice channel. We get a rising wedge at the top of the channel. The channel is going to pull back to a nice support, and then that's going to hold, and then we're going to push up to new highs. So, I mean, this should be fairly easy money if this works out this way. So we'll see. We'll see how it is. You know, maybe things aren't always what they seem, but as of right now, this is what it looks like. So anticipate this happening. All right. Awesome. I hope you guys kill it. Remember, we have earnings this week and they're all retail sales. So we should have good retail sales. Lots of people are buying homes, so very bullish on Home Depot and Lowe's. I'm actually bullish on them. I'm not going to play their earnings because there's so many other great opportunities to play. There's no reason to risk the earnings play. Earnings play, There's Target, Nordstrom's, a couple other ones. I think they're going to have good sales, but of course it's going to affect the market in a way. I think we're going to 315 because we're going to have good earnings this week. So buy the pullback and let's get that 315. Hopefully we don't get that 315 at the end of the day Friday like we did last Friday, and hopefully we get a nice push and some good trading moves this week. All right, guys, kill this week.